Hey, third grade. If you saw my little dojo post this morning, you saw that we couldn't live stream math. Yeah, I know, we talked about it. There's some stuff going on that I should have checked ahead of time. I didn't plan very well. Yes, she knows I should have. So hopefully maybe by tomorrow or sometime this week we could do math live stream instead. But for today, this is how we're going to do this. Okay, we're continuing to talk about multiplying one-digit numbers by 2 or 3-digit numbers. Okay, today you're going to need your place value mat and your place value kit. Hopefully, if you had to make ones yesterday, hopefully you still have those. Okay, I would recommend making those out of your index card, coloring your index card purple or red, and then cutting that into little squares. Don't make them tiny. Make them like, I don't know. Make them a little bigger than your thumbnail. I don't know. Don't make them itty bitty. But if you had to make them, I recommend making them out of your index card. That way they're thicker. And put them in a little Ziploc baggie and put them with your place value kit. Okay. So you will need your place value mat, your place value kit, and that's it for you for right now. So today you will multiply 2 or 3-digit factors by a 1-digit factor, with and without using your place value places, okay? So first of all, we're going to look at this equation right here, our horizontal equation. 2 times 431. What is this equation asking us to find? It wants us to find the product of 2 times 431. This equation, the way that it is telling us that there are 2 sets of 431. There are 2 sets of 431. So, on your mats, you will picture that like this. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your hundreds, because they're green, right? I don't have any that are magnetic, so I can't do them, so I have to draw them. So you have one set, there's 430, and remember I'm using dots because squares take me a while. Little squares are tedious. There's one set of 431, but you have 2. So get out your place value mats and get out your little kit and make this as I'm doing it, okay? Make it as I'm doing it. What might be easiest for you to do while we're doing our lesson today is for you to sort out your place value things. So if you need to take them and put your hundreds in a pile and your tens in a pile and your ones in a pile, I would recommend that you do that. Otherwise you'll have to pause the video as we're going, okay? Because I'm not there to see how quickly everyone is doing this, or how, if you're keeping up or falling behind. So if I'm going too fast, you need to pause your video. So I recommend, is my whiteboard straight? Is it a little crooked? I don't know. Sorry. I recommend putting your hundreds, tens, and ones into piles so that you can pull from those and make these easy. Okay, so you should have 2 sets of 431. I'm going to separate mine out because I don't have mats. Hundreds, tens, ones. Oh, no, baby. Hey, you baby. Okay. When we do multiplication with more than 1 digit, which place value do you start in? Which place value do you start in? Okay, you should be starting in your smallest place value. So again, this just so happens to be a 1. It's the smallest digit in the number. but the ones is our smallest place value. So this is where we're starting, in our ones place. Okay? Alrighty, so in your ones place, sorry, fussy baby. In your ones place, how many ones are in each set? So not all together how many ones. In 431 you have 2 sets. In each of these sets, how many ones do you have? You have one in each set. So what is 2 sets of 1? You have 2 sets of 1. 2 sets of 1 gives you what? Two sets of 1 is 2 ones. Okay? 2 sets of 1 is 2 ones. Okay? What do we do next? What do we do next? Okay, next you're going to go to your tens place. How many tens are in each set? How many tens in this set? 3. How many tens in this set? 3. You have 2 sets of 3 tens. So what is 2 sets of 3 tens? 2 sets of 3 tens gives you 6 tens. Shh, hey you, no one wants to hear you whining. You're cute, but stop it. Okay. Next we have, our last place is our hundreds place. How many hundreds are in each set of 431? How many hundreds are in each set? Okay, there's 4 sets, or 4 hundreds in each set. What is 2 sets of 4 hundreds? 2 sets of 4 hundreds gives you 8 hundreds. So now here's my question for you. What is 8 hundreds, 6 tens, and 2 ones? If you were to put these together then as 1, you've multiplied them, you'd have 800, 6 tens, 2 ones. So what is 2 times 431? It is 862. Okay, scooching on over. We're going to focus on this equation now. This is the same as this, except that we used our ones for this. We use those so that you can better understand how to do math, your multiplication, this way. Okay? You start, just like we do over here, by your ones. So if I have 2 ones, if I have 2 ones, how many ones do you have? 2 sets of 1. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. Identity property of multiplication tells you. The identity property of multiplication tells you that any factor multiplied by 1 is that factor. Okay? Next, we are done in the ones place. Ones are done. We're finished with those. Now we move on to the next place value, which is our tens. If you have 2 sets of 3 tens, 2 sets of 3 tens, or like 2 times 30, if you have 2 30s, what do you have? 60. But we don't put 60 because in the number 60, 0 is in your ones place already. But here we don't need to put a 0 because our ones place is a 1. We're just doing one place value at a time and making our number greater. Okay, tens are done. What's left is our hundreds. While I'm doing this, by the way, with the arrows, you can feel free to put the arrows in your math, but I can promise that there's not going to be a lot of space all the time for you to do the arrows. So if you need to do it that way, that's fine. You just need to make sure that you can still read all of your numbers, and we can read your answer. Okay? If you must make these arrows, you don't have to, but if you find that it's helpful, make sure you can still read all your other numbers. Okay? Are you eating your best? Here, have a pacifier instead. Okay, so we've done our ones, we've done our tens. The last place value we have to do is our what? Is our hundreds. Okay? If you have 2 sets of 4 hundreds, 2 sets, and there's 4 hundreds in each set, how many hundreds do you have? You'll have, ooh, funky 8. You'll have 800 800s. So notice this. My hundreds are under my hundreds, tens under my tens, my ones under my ones. They're all lined up. They're all lined up. So what is 2 sets of 431, or 2 times 431? 862. Great. Okay. Clear off your mats. Woo. Hey, you can't spit out that pacifier. You need that. Clear off your mats. We'll do another. We're going to do another. Okay. Make on your mats 3 sets of 320. 3 sets of 320. Three sets of 320. All right. 1, 2, 3. So I need 3 sets. It'd be nice to be back at school with a bigger whiteboard. And 20. Oh well. This will do. Okay. Make 3 sets of 320. How many ones do we have? 3 sets of, well, 0 ones. We don't have any ones. So, according to the 0 property of multiplication, 0 times any number equals what? 0. So we have 0 ones. I put the little line through my 0 so you know that it's a 0 and not an O. That's just for your visual. Okay, ones are done. How many tens are in each set of 320? How many tens are in each set of 320? There are 2 tens in each set. 2 tens here in this set, 2 tens in this set, and 2 tens in this set. So if you have 2 tens and 3 sets, you have 3 sets of 2 tens. So what is that? 3 sets of 2 tens. What do you have? 3 sets, 2 tens. You have 6 tens. 3 sets of 2 tens is 6 tens. Are we done? Nope, we are not done yet. We have our hundreds left to do. You have 3 sets, and how many hundreds are in each set? In this set, how many hundreds? 1, 2, 3. In this set, and in this set. You have 3 hundreds in each set. So 3 sets of 3 hundreds gives you how many hundreds? I can't write the whole thing, but it's 9 hundreds. So tell me, no squeakers, what is 9 hundreds plus 6 tens plus 0 ones? 9 hundreds, 6 tens, and 0 ones? 9 hundreds, 6 tens, 0 ones. So what is 3 sets of 320? 960. Oh my. Someone needs to go back to sleep. Okay. Moving on to this one here. Moving on to this one here. 3 times 320. If we multiply our ones place first, I'm going to move this a little bit. What do you get when you multiply 3 times 0? 3 sets of 0 ones gives you 0 ones. Okay, how about the next one? Next we have our tens. We have 2 tens, but we have 3 sets of 2 tens. So what is 3 sets of 2 tens? 60. So you can't put 2 things in one place value place. But we already have a 0 in our ones place. So right underneath the tens, we put our tens. 3 sets of 2 tens is 6 tens. Fluffy. Oh no. Somebody hates math. Okay, so then we're going to go to our hundreds place. That's what we have left. Okay, we have how many in our hundreds place? How many in our hundreds place? We have a 3 in our hundreds place, but how many 300s do we have? 3 sets of 300. So 3 sets of 300 gives you what? Think about it this way. What's 3 times 3? 3 times 3 is 9. I didn't do my arrows for these, but like I said, you don't necessarily need those arrows, but if they're helpful to you. Okay? Good, good, good. Do one more. Clear off your mats. Clear off your mats. Here's our next one. Two sets of 214. 2 sets of 214. My hundreds, my tens, and my ones. You have mats. I do not. Okay. Make 2 sets of 214. I dropped my cap. Be careful with this one. You don't have 4 tens. Each of your place values. Two sets of 214. Okay. How many ones do you have in each set of 214? How many ones are in each set? You have 4 ones in each set. If you have 2 sets of 4 ones, 2 sets of 4 ones, then how many do you have? You can't answer. You don't know. You're not in 3rd grade. Two sets of 4 ones gives you 8 ones. Next, your tens. How many tens are in each set of 214? In 214, how many tens do you have? There's 1 10 in each set. How many sets do you have? 2 sets. So if you have 2 sets of 110, excuse me, 2 sets of 110 is how many tens? 2 sets of 110. 2 sets of 110 gives you, well, 2 tens. Gives you 2 tens. Okay, finally. Are we done? Okay, you have your hundreds left to do. You have your hundreds left to do. How many hundreds are in each set? How many hundreds are in each set of 214? There's 2 hundreds in each set. How many sets do you have? 2. You have 2 sets of 200s. So, what is 2 sets of 200s? 2 sets of 200 gives you how many hundreds? 4 hundreds. So tell me then, what is 4 hundreds, 2 tens, and 8 ones? $428. 2 times 214 is 428. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Next. Oh my goodness, child. You keep dropping that pacifier. It's going to make you crazy. All right, over here. Where do we start when we multiply with more than 1 digit? Your lowest place value. Our lowest place value is our ones. So we multiply our ones placed first. What is 2 sets of 4 ones? 2 times 4 gives you, count by 2s, 4 times 8. Okay? Tens are next. 2 sets of 110 each 2 times 1, 10 gives you how many tens? 2 tens. And finally our hundreds place. 2 sets of 2 hundreds gives you how many hundreds? Two sets of 2 hundreds gives you 4 hundreds. Okay? We do it this way with your hundreds, with your ones, tens, and hundreds kit, so that you can see with your eyeballs what it actually looks like to have 2 sets or 3 sets or 4 sets of another number. So this is what it looks like with your eyeballs to have 2 sets of 214. When you are learning something new, especially in math, it's very helpful for 3rd graders to have something to look at and something to do with their hands like this. This is why we do it this way, okay? This helps you do it like this. Doing it like this helps you do it like this. Because someday, all you're going to see, all you're going to see is this. So if you can see it like this to help you learn it this way, then when you get to this, you'll be set to go. Okay? Clear off your mats. Clear off your mats. Okay. Now, if you have scratch paper with you, I would recommend you grab it. We're now going to multiply a 1 digit by a 3-digit number without using your manipulatives. We've used them for a couple days, so we're going to try doing it without them. 3 times, and I'm going to make it bigger, because I can. 3 times 102 equals, this equation means that there are 3 sets, oh you can't see, okay. This equation means that there are 3 sets of 102. There are 3 sets of 102, okay. How many, let's see. We're looking at our ones place. What is 3 times 2? 1 place value at a time, so you don't have to think about it as 3 times 102. Think about it as 3 times each place value. 3 times 2 is, count by 3s 2 times, or count by 2s 3 times. 3 times 2 equals 6. Next on to your tens. 0 tens. 3 times 0 gives you, well, 0 tens. And we have our hundreds. 3 times 1 gives you how many hundreds? 3 hundreds. What is 3 times 102? 3 times 102 is 306. Next. We're going to do 3 times, oh, I can't space it enough. 3 times 321. 3 times 321. I forgot my arrows again. Times 10. And then 3 times the hundreds. pause for a second and look back at this. You use each place value on the top once. You multiply by this once, you multiply by this once, and you multiply by this once. But this number here on the bottom, you use it every single time. So you reuse the 3 in every single place value. You don't use the 3 just because there's 3 place values. There could be 5. If this was, let's say, 5,102, you would then use the 3 again. The 3 arrows have nothing to do with this 3. The 3 arrows have to do with each place value. So these are each used once. But this number, single digit on the bottom, this base number, is used to multiply times every single place value. Okay? Next, 321 times 3. 3 times 1. 3 times 2. 6 in the tens place. 3 sets of 300s. 3 times 3. What is 3 times 321? 3 times 321 is 963. Okay? Very good. I didn't do arrows on this one, but that's okay. Alrighty, we're going to do a math story now. If you'd like to have paper to write it out, not like the words, but write out the equations and things, you may. Haley bought 4 packages of batteries. Four packages of batteries. There are 12 batteries in each package. This means each. She bought 4 packages of batteries. There are 12 batteries in each package. How many batteries did Haley buy? They want us to find out how many batteries Haley bought. Okay? So, that's the question they're asking us to find. Next, we need to figure out multiplication, division, subtraction, or addition. What's our operation? Well, our operation is multiplication. So what's our equation? What's our equation? If it's multiplication, don't say 12 times 4. We don't have 12 sets. Start with your sets. How many sets do we have? 4 sets of 12. 4 sets of 12. Now we multiply. Now we do our equations to figure out what our answer is. 4 times 2. 8. 4 times 1. 4 sets of 1, 10. Identity property tells you 1 times another number is that number. 4 times 10 is 40. So the question is, how many batteries did Haley buy? Haley bought 48 batteries. Batteries. Okie dokie, kids. Turn in your work text, please, to page 283. 283. I know I cut the video a little short yesterday, but my kid was going to lose her mind. Okay. 283. Perfect. This is what I keep putting my phone and my computer on to make the video. Boxes. Okay. Page 283. I don't know what I said. Did I say 48? 283. Page 283. 1 digit times 2 or 3 digit factors. At the top of your page is a little green box. First, multiply the ones. Second, multiply the tens. And third, you multiply the hundreds. Okay? Number 1, the directions say solve 2 ways. They've given you repeated addition and then a multiplication equation. You'll find that your answers are exactly the same. For numbers 1 and 2, let me rephrase that. That was going to be confusing. For number 1, the answer to your repeated addition equation and the answer to your multiplication equation, those 2 answers will be the same. On number 2, your repeated addition equation and your multiplication equation, those 2 answers will be the same. 1 and 2 won't be the same, but your repeated addition and your multiplication, your answers for both of those will be the same. If they are not, do not move ahead. It means that you're wrong. And let me tell you, it's okay to be wrong. This is how we learn. You cannot expect to be right every single time. You've seen me in class. You know that I am wrong, and I'm like more than 3 times your age. I am less than 3 times some of your ages. Some of you are 10. I am not yet 30. I'm 3 times as old as you, and I still make mistakes, even when it comes to 3rd grade math. So if you are wrong, please erase your answers, take a deep breath, and try again. They have to be the same. Okay? 3 through 12 just tells you to solve. You have some two-digit multiplication, and then you have some 3-digit multiplication. Remember that base number, that single digit, you multiply it by each place value. You'll multiply it by the ones, and you'll multiply it by the tens. Okay? And the hundreds when that's applicable. At the bottom, use the picture graph to answer the questions. We have not seen a picture graph for a bit. So, look at your picture graph. What's the title of your picture graph? Your title is Sunday School Classes. You have the first grade class, the 2nd grade class, and the 3rd grade class. Now look at your key. Look at the key. No, you don't want to look at the key. Shh. Each stick figure is how many students? 2. So in 1st grade, there are not 3 students in the 1st grade Sunday school class. Each of those people is worth 2. So you'll have some multiplication to do here. Okay? Be careful with number 15. How many students are there in how many more students are there in 3rd grade than there are in 2nd grade? Be careful with this one. Read it. Read it slow. Take your time with it. Okay. Page 284 is going to be very similar to the front page. 2 and 3-digit multiplication. You've got a picture chart to use. And then at the bottom, we're using our biblical worldview to help Haley and Cyrus figure out their lunch. Okay? Please ask questions if you need help. Start with people who are home with you. Start with mom or dad, or start with your siblings. Ask them for help. Okay? And then if they're unsure, then get a hold of me. Okay? All right. See you guys later.